Hi and welcome to Sevron, the UK's leading authority for implementing effective risk assessment management systems. As an employer, it is your legal duty to provide risk assessments to protect your employees, to make available an up-to-date library of safety data sheets for your hazardous substances, and to keep and maintain training records. We'll now show you how to implement a task-based risk assessment management system produced in consultation with the Health and Safety Executive, allowing you to save time and money whilst having the confidence that your systems are fully compliant.
Sevron's task-based risk assessments use an easy-to-follow form with helpful guidance and provides online chat support, including short, intuitive video tutorials to quickly bring your users up to speed with minimal training. Users will benefit by using one easy-to-follow risk assessment form to produce all task-based risk assessments, including a task-based COSHH assessment. With Sevron, you can upload your own company logo or those of your clients, as it is important to show ownership of assessments. When you need to create compliant COSHH assessments, you'll benefit from having access to an up-to-date library of all your safety data sheets, without which you are already costing your business in administration time. Not to mention the additional and frustrating task of acquiring documents from suppliers and manufacturers.
Sevron alleviates this stressful and time-consuming task by having all your safety data sheets acquired and managed by the National Safety Centre's Managed Database Service, which provides safety data sheets to the National Poisons Information Service. We let all our users know the moment a revised safety data sheet is received and the COSHH assessments they affect. Very few systems can boast this level of compliance. Using the latest hazard labels and phrases will benefit your employees' understanding of the hazards contained within your COSHH assessments easily. They are also of great benefit because all new safety data sheets are required to show the new REACH and CLP regulatory classifications for hazard labels and phrases.
Having access to the necessary personal protection symbolization, or PPE, will enable you to easily inform your employees what needs to be worn or used for the task to be carried out safely. Users may edit the predefined text boxes to identify specific types of PPE that are required for the task. A useful automated spell-checking facility is integrated into all text input fields. You'll notice how pictorial the Sevron assessment becomes, which draws the reader's attention, making it easier to read and therefore increasing the safety of your employees.
The Sevron Risk Assessment Form allows you to add both substance-specific and task-related hazards. Examples of these are substance warning signs, danger to persons, hazards relating to use of equipment, and environmental conditions. A user can select any number of hazards and provide descriptions to identify the specific risk involved in their particular task. This is extremely important and a major reason why generic assessments and those created by third parties without specific task knowledge are both inadequate and non-compliant with legislation. Once the user has identified a hazard, they can then select what the risk is before controls have been implemented. This allows the reader to understand the severity of the hazard and to ensure controls are adhered to. There is growing pressure from both the HSE and insurance providers for companies to identify both the risk before and the risk after implementing controls. This demonstrates an effective risk assessment management system. After identifying the uncontrolled risk from a hazard, the user should now select adequate controls to put in place to protect their employees. Sevron provides a detailed library of symbolization which can be added to on request. These include mandatory control signs for PPE, mandatory directives, prohibition, and control of equipment. As before, all auto-inputted text fields can be edited by the user to be made specific to the task. Remember, controls are the main barrier between the success and failure of your risk assessments, and with Sevron, you have full control of your risk assessment content. Now the user has identified how to work safely in relation to this task-related hazard, they should now identify the residual risks still present after controls have been implemented. Here we have now shown how we have reduced the risk using our risk assessment and have conformed to regulatory compliance. Additionally, it is of great benefit to identify emergency controls to instruct your employees how they should respond should your controls fail and an incident occur. This helps to reduce the impact of an incident and is generally accepted by auditors as being best practice. Sevron provides symbolization for safe conditions, PPE to be worn, mandatory directives, and fire safety controls.
To complement your risk assessment management system, it's good practice to include a facility for action management and a necessity for health and safety accreditations. Sevron provide a simple and effective action management system that communicates by email the following actions: training records and signatures to acknowledge understanding of task hazards and controls, managed actions to schedule future events, further actions to investigate improvements to current controls, uploading supporting documentation such as monitoring records, sending documents by recorded delivery.
Action Management assists with the requirements of BS OSAS 18001, HSG 65 and CHAS. For monitoring purposes, all actions are tracked with read receipts. Sevron's risk assessment form is part of a risk assessment management system which effortlessly incorporates into any size and structure of business. Sevron allows for seamless delegation of responsibility once you've opened your first account.
Opening your account with Sevron is simple. Within 10 minutes, your account manager will deliver your login details by email. This email will be followed up by a short phone call from our friendly support team to talk you through getting started. You'll be shown how easy it is to create your company locations and set up your user accounts, which are unlimited for your business. As you create your account, you will start to build your risk assessment management system by delegating responsibility for maintaining risk assessments throughout your business. When the users you create add their own locations, you will have visibility of all their data. Each of your users will receive login instructions by email and be able to access Sevron to start creating, accessing and publishing risk assessments. If you create a manager user account, they can immediately log in to set up their area of your company following the same process. Users will be able to create unlimited levels of locations within your company structure and assign an unlimited number of users at each level. There are 4 types of user account. A viewer account can access published risk assessments and view safety data sheets with no ability to make changes. An administrator can additionally create risk assessments and request safety data sheets, but they do not have the authority to publish assessments. A risk assessor has the authority to publish risk assessments. A manager has overall responsibility, being able to complete all other user functions with the addition of creating locations and managing user permissions. When a manager, risk assessor or administrator logs in, they can immediately begin the risk assessment process.
Those users that hold hazardous substances will be able to use a simple substance inventory form to identify the substances they store, use and need to dispose of within their workplace. From this point in, Sevron will acquire and manage updating for all safety data sheets for each user, saving your employees a great deal of time. Users will have access to search and request safety data sheets from our vast online library to build a substance inventory and therefore comply with legislation. The first step with any task-based risk assessment is to identify what is to be assessed. This is done through Part 1 of the Task Risk Assessment form, although the user can bypass this part of the process if preferred. At this point, you can involve other employees in the risk assessment process by asking them to provide details on how the task is carried out in this part of the form. The second part of this risk assessment form allows the risk assessor to identify the hazards, control measures, and personal protection required to make the task safer. This form measures the risks before and after control measures have been put in place. This is an important aspect that health and safety inspectors require to be shown on your risk assessments, proving that you have made the task safer for your employees. Once the form has been completed, it can then be produced using the Sevron online risk assessment form so that it can be published into a PDF document, printed and communicated to your employees to confirm it has been read and understood. A signature strip is provided.
For tasks undertaken at multiple locations, users have the ability to copy risk assessments from one location to another. This is a very simple process to complete and saves a great deal of time, as users throughout your company can share assessments which they can tailor to their own locations. Your new risk assessment management system is simple to implement and even easier to maintain once your risk assessments have been published. Sevron proactively communicates with the National Safety Centre and the Health and Safety Executive to ensure your management system is kept up to date, ready for legislation change and continuously improved. All updates are free of charge as a subscriber.
It is important to keep your data within Sevron software safe and secure. All data is owned by your business and can be accessed and downloaded at any time through your account. We maintain nightly backups of your data in several geographical locations, and our dedicated servers are hosted with rack space with a 100% uptime guarantee on the same network provided to the Ministry of Defense. With Sevron, you'll have peace of mind that you are joining over 10,000 happy users benefiting from software developed in consultation with the Health and Safety Executive. Sevron software is used throughout the UK and worldwide, covering many industries and ranging from startup businesses to global enterprises.
Using a fully managed and web-based service like Sevron will allow your business to implement an effective tool for facilitating COSHH compliance that can be accessed from anywhere in the world. Our customers believe Sevron is a great, cost-effective solution from which you'll receive outstanding customer service. They strongly believe in Sevron risk assessment software and that it far exceeds other risk management services. You'll have the dual function to create task risk assessments as well as COSHH assessments, which you'll find straightforward to use, producing assessments in a format that is easy to understand. The ability to access MSDSs saves time and assists in keeping them up to date. Using Sevron's unique acquisition and management service provided by the National Safety Centre.
With excellent customer service from your initial purchase through to ongoing development, our customers thoroughly recommend it and cannot envisage being without it now. Carefully consider how you and your business comply with legislation, and please forward this presentation to your colleagues for review. Finally, you and your colleagues can now enjoy free access to a test drive of our risk assessment form. On behalf of Sevron, we thank you for your time.